You are settled into a quiet seat aboard a small spacecraft, drifting through the darkness between the stars. Outside the window, the Milky Way glows faintly, its billions of stars shining like distant memories. The hum of the ship's guidance system fills the cabin, soft and steady. The stars drift past, and in the distance, the familiar blue glow of Earth slowly fades from view. The ship is moving deeper into the vast, silent stretches of space. Tonight, your journey takes you to a special place, an exploration of the quietest places in the solar system. In this calm journey, you'll explore distant corners of our cosmic neighborhood, and gently ask, how did these places come to be, and what do they reveal about the universe? As the ship glides through space, let the gentle rhythm of your journey settle your thoughts. The story of the quietest places is not one of loud events or cataclysmic changes. Instead, it's about the stillness, the calm that has been shaped over millions, even billions, of years. These are the places where sound doesn't exist, where the quiet stretches far and deep, in ways that even the most advanced instruments sometimes struggle to measure. Space, as you know, is vast, and most of it is silent. Sound, as we experience it on Earth, cannot travel through the vacuum of space. But there are other kinds of quiet that exists in the absence of movement, quiet that comes from lack of activity. Imagine, if you will, a place so still that the vibrations from the outside world barely make a ripple, where the usual noise of a living planet is nothing but a whisper in the distance. This is the type of quiet you're about to discover, and with each passing moment, you're about to explore a little more about how it came to be, and how we know it. Tonight's voyage takes us far beyond the bustling, ever-moving atmosphere of Earth. The world we inhabit is filled with noise, rivers and oceans, cities and highways, the hum of electricity, the rustle of trees, the chatter of life in the air. Yet, there are places in our solar system where such sounds are lost in the vastness of space. The quiet stretches beyond comprehension, as deep as the void itself. Our first stop on this journey is to think about the quietness in a more scientific way. You might wonder, how can we measure something like quiet? After all, there are no microphones out here in the dark corners of the solar system. Yet, scientists have found clever ways to study these silent zones. Instruments like seismometers, which are used to measure vibrations, have been placed on planets and moons, while spacecraft have measured the faintest signals to determine what might be causing these silences. The answers are often tied to something much deeper than the absence of sound itself. Some places in the solar system have conditions so perfect that even the vibrations we normally hear, wind, waves, the distant hum of machinery, are absent. These are places where things are so still that it's as though the universe itself is holding its breath. The study of these locations helps us to understand how life on Earth came to be and how the conditions of silence might reveal hidden truths about the creation of the universe. But this silence is not something that just happens naturally. It's a result of unique processes. In fact, the quietest places are shaped by many forces, by the absence of atmospheres on certain moons, by the lack of internal activity on other planets, or by the remoteness from the influence of stars. Over the next few parts of this journey, you'll discover the science behind these quiet realms. The quiet is not just for the sake of stillness. It carries with it important clues about how celestial bodies evolve, how they are shaped, and even what they might one day become. These quiet zones hold secrets about the past, about ancient collisions, cosmic wind, and the slow dance of the planets around their stars. As you sit back and listen, the spacecraft continues its quiet path through the stars, heading towards the quietest places in the solar system. In the peaceful hum of the ship, we'll continue this journey, exploring how silence is not just an absence of sound, but a place full of meaning, waiting to be understood. Let your thoughts drift slowly along with the ship. There is no rush to understand everything all at once. As you drift into the quiet of space, take comfort in the knowledge that the answers will come gently, like the stars outside your window, each one a quiet mystery of its own. Your small spacecraft still drifts quietly through the dark. Outside the window, nothing has changed, but your understanding of the quietest places in the solar system is about to deepen again. As you settle into your seat, the faint hum of the ship's instruments remains steady and calming, guiding you toward our next stop on this journey, where the silence is not just a feature of the landscape, but a part of the very nature of these distant worlds. Let's begin by thinking about the sources of quiet in space. When you picture the solar system, you might imagine the bustling Earth, full of life and motion. Perhaps you picture Mars, with its dust storms and whirling winds, or the swirling rings of Saturn. These places are far from quiet. Yet, the true quiet in our solar system can be found in places that seem distant and remote, worlds far from the warmth of the sun, where time moves differently, and where things slow down in ways that we can barely imagine. One of the quietest places we know is the far side of the moon, the side that faces away from Earth. When you think of the moon, you probably picture the bright, craggy surface we see from our planet, where astronauts once walked. But the far side of the moon is a place far more mysterious, as it's never visible from Earth. In fact, it wasn't until the 1950s that scientists realized this side of the moon even existed. There's no atmosphere to carry sound here, and the moon is tidally locked with Earth, meaning the same side always faces our planet. Now, imagine being on the surface of the far side of the moon, away from the hum of our bustling planet. There's nothing but the deep silence of space around you. The lack of atmosphere means there's no wind to carry sounds, and the moon's low gravity means that even the smallest vibrations seem to disappear into the stillness. The far side of the moon has also been shielded from Earth's radio signals, making it one of the most perfect places for listening to the distant universe. Here, instruments can detect the faintest cosmic whispers, free from the interference of Earth's noise. This is why scientists have chosen the far side of the moon as the ideal place for certain kinds of astronomical observation. The quiet here is not just the absence of noise, it's an opportunity to hear things more clearly. One of the key tools that we use to study space is radio telescopes, which listen to signals from distant stars, galaxies, and other celestial objects. On the far side of the moon, far from the interference of radio waves from Earth, these signals can be picked up more easily. Imagine that you are now looking out the window of the spacecraft, gliding past the moon, its pockmarked surface glimmering under the soft light of the distant sun. The silence here is not just profound, it's pure. You feel the weightlessness of space surrounding you, the stillness wrapping around the ship like a soft blanket. Our next stop takes us even farther from Earth, to the outer reaches of the solar system, to the region beyond Neptune, known as the Kuiper Belt. The Kuiper Belt is home to icy bodies, dwarf planets, and comets, distant, frozen remnants from the early solar system. Here, the quiet is amplified by the vast distance from the sun, where only the faintest rays of light reach. The Kuiper Belt is far enough from the sun that the objects within it experience extremely low temperatures, colder than anything you could imagine on Earth. These icy bodies are silent, but not because they lack movement. In fact, the objects in the Kuiper Belt are constantly drifting, some on long, elliptical orbits that take them far beyond the reach of the sun's warmth. Yet, the quiet here is created by the emptiness of space itself. The farther you get from the sun, the fewer forces there are to disturb the calm. The planets and moons here are distant, isolated, and remote, with little to no atmospheric activity to create the noise we're familiar with on Earth. In this region, spacecraft have ventured out to study objects like Pluto and Haumea, dwarf planets on the edges of the solar system. These objects are in such a quiet part of space that we can hardly imagine how still they are. When NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto in 2015, it sent back images of a world frozen in time. The surface of Pluto, with its icy plains and towering mountains, was eerily quiet, as though the entire planet had been suspended in a moment of deep stillness. As you float aboard the spacecraft, you might wonder, how do we know all this? How do we understand the silence of places like the Moon's far side and the Kuiper Belt? The answer lies in the tools we've developed to listen to space. Instruments on spacecraft, like seismometers and cosmic ray detectors, measure tiny vibrations and particles that come from deep space. These instruments help us understand the quiet in ways that our human ears can never fully experience. The quiet we're describing isn't just the absence of sound, it's the absence of everything that typically makes noise: wind, human activity, even the faintest movements of life. These places are shaped by the deepest forces in the universe: gravity, the pull of distant stars, and the cosmic winds that blow between galaxies. Now, as you listen to the soft hum of the spacecraft, think of these quiet places, remote and far-reaching, places where the very nature of space is revealed. In the stillness of the Kuiper Belt, and on the far side of the Moon, scientists have learned to listen for the faintest echoes of the universe's most ancient events. And as your spacecraft continues its journey, you'll find that each quiet place holds a new piece of the cosmic puzzle, waiting to be discovered. Your spacecraft drifts steadily through the endless dark. Outside the window, the distant glow of stars forms a faint backdrop, their light reaching you after countless years of travel. The hum of the ship's systems remains soothing, almost like a soft lullaby, keeping you grounded as we continue our exploration of the quietest places in the solar system. The silence around you is comforting, not empty, but full of meaning, a reminder of how much we have yet to learn. As the ship moves further into the vastness of space, we begin to consider something more profound. How do these quiet places fit into the broader story of our solar system and, ultimately, our place in the universe? The quiet you've experienced so far is not just the absence of sound, it holds clues to the history of our celestial neighborhood. It tells us about the forces that shape the planets, moons, and icy bodies of the outer solar system. One of the most intriguing quiet places is the surface of Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. Europa is a world that holds deep mysteries beneath its icy shell. It's a place where silence reigns, not just because of the lack of atmosphere, but because of the profound stillness that is hidden beneath its frozen surface. Europa's ocean, if it exists as scientists suspect, is buried deep below thick layers of ice. Yet, beneath that quiet surface, there may be activity. There may be tides and currents, hidden life, and even the subtle rumblings of geological processes. Scientists suspect that beneath Europa's icy crust, a vast liquid ocean exists, kept warm by tidal forces generated by Jupiter's gravity. The quiet here is not merely a lack of noise, it's the quiet of a world that is both active and inactive, a place where forces within the Moon interact in complex ways. Instruments aboard spacecraft like NASA's Galileo and Juno missions have shown that Europa has a magnetic field, suggesting the presence of a liquid ocean beneath the ice. But because Europa is so far from the Sun and so isolated in the vast darkness of space, it remains a place where only the faintest signals can be detected. It is as if the ocean beneath the surface is a secret waiting to be discovered, its silence hiding the potential for profound discoveries about the nature of life itself. As you sit quietly aboard the spacecraft, imagine the scene below, the thick, frozen surface of Europa, stretching out into the dark, crisscrossed by cracks and ridges where the ice has shifted. The quiet here is not just the absence of sound, it's the profound stillness of a world that may hold the answers to some of the deepest questions about the origins of life. Could there be life in the hidden oceans beneath this icy shell? The quiet places in our solar system are not merely objects in space, they are also gateways to understanding how life may arise in the most unexpected places. Europa's quietness is the result of the immense pressure of its icy shell, the cold temperature, and the distance from the warmth of the Sun. Yet, it's a reminder that quiet doesn't always mean stagnant or lifeless. Instead, it's a quiet that hides movement, hidden processes and forces that shape the world in ways we are only beginning to understand. As we move further, let's consider Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Titan is another example of a quiet place in the solar system, but here, quiet takes on an entirely different meaning. Titan is shrouded in a thick, nitrogen-rich atmosphere, unlike any other moon in the solar system. The quiet on Titan is not the absence of sound, but the absence of Earth-like sound. Titan's thick atmosphere mutes any noise that might travel, and it's so dense that even the faintest sounds from the surface would be muffled. Despite the thick clouds, Titan is a world teeming with activity beneath its surface. Titan has lakes and seas made of liquid methane and ethane, and its surface is carved by rivers and dunes. But the quiet here comes from the fact that the atmosphere is so thick that sound can barely travel through it. The quiet is not because the world is still, but because everything is muffled, wrapped in a thick blanket of air. Scientists have studied Titan with spacecraft like Cassini and Huygens, which landed on Titan in 2005, revealing a world both alien and familiar. The quiet here is not silence, but a form of muffled stillness, where the sounds of Titan are lost in the dense, hazy air. Titan, like Europa, is a place where the quiet speaks to us about the forces at work beneath the surface. Titan's methane lakes, for example, provide clues about the potential for complex chemistry, and perhaps even the building blocks for life. The quiet here reflects the way our understanding of the solar system is expanding. What once seemed like an inhospitable, frozen world now looks more like a place where complex processes are unfolding, and where quiet, in its own way, holds secrets that we are just beginning to uncover. As you drift through space in the comfort of your spacecraft, think about what the quiet in these places reveals. The quiet of Europa and Titan doesn't mean nothing is happening. Instead, it's a quiet that speaks to the hidden, invisible processes that are shaping these distant worlds. It's a quiet that reminds us that the universe is full of activity, even when it seems still. Now, consider how these quiet places connect to a bigger picture, the evolution of our solar system and the forces that have shaped its many worlds. The quiet of Europa and Titan reflects ancient processes that began billions of years ago, when the solar system was just beginning to form. They are like ancient fossils, frozen in time, waiting to be explored and understood. And in that quiet, we begin to understand our place in the universe. As the spacecraft drifts deeper into space, leaving these moons behind, let their quiet secrets echo softly in your mind. There is so much more to learn, and yet, so much to appreciate in the stillness of these faraway places. The quiet, after all, is not just an absence, it's a way of listening to the cosmos, of hearing the faintest whispers that tell us stories of creation, evolution, and the mysteries of life itself. Your spacecraft drifts effortlessly through the endless quiet of space, the faint hum of its systems the only sound that fills your ears. Outside the window, the stars remain constant, their distant light a reminder of how far you've traveled. The vastness of the cosmos unfolds before you, and yet, as your journey continues, the quiet only deepens. There is a sense of finality to this moment, as though the silence itself has a voice, and that voice is telling a story of a universe in motion. As you contemplate the quiet places we've visited, a thought begins to emerge: what do these places mean for us? For our understanding of the universe. The quiet we've explored is not just a curiosity, it's a key to understanding the past, present, and future of the solar system. Each of these silent worlds, Europa, Titan, the far side of the moon, the Kuiper belt, offers us a glimpse into the intricate dance of forces that govern the cosmos. They are not simply quiet because of their distance from the sun, but because they are shaped by deeper, unseen processes. As you drift through the stillness, imagine the broader story unfolding. These quiet places are remnants of the ancient past, echoes of a time when the planets were still young, when the solar system was being formed from the remnants of dust and gas. The quiet you've witnessed is not just a lack of noise, but a record of the forces at play: gravity, tidal forces, the cooling of molten worlds, and the freezing of others. These worlds, in their isolation, hold secrets about how our own planet, Earth, came to be. We can now begin to understand how silence can reveal truths about the creation of the solar system. Scientists believe that the quiet we see in places like Europa and Titan is a result of the way the solar system evolved. Planets like Earth, with their dynamic atmospheres and active surfaces, were once just as silent and cold as these moons, only they have since been shaped by billions of years of geological and atmospheric processes. The quiet that still exists in the outer reaches of the solar system is a snapshot of an earlier time, one that Earth has long since outgrown. But the quiet also has another dimension. It offers us clues about the future. Scientists are particularly fascinated by the potential for life in these quiet, frozen worlds. Europa, for example, may hold a liquid ocean beneath its icy surface, a place where life could, in theory, exist in a completely different form than anything we know on Earth. Titan, with its thick, nitrogen-rich atmosphere, might hold the building blocks of life, its methane lakes acting as a kind of cosmic laboratory for organic chemistry. These quiet places are not just relics of the past, they could hold the answers to questions about the origins of life and how life might arise in the universe. The quiet that surrounds these moons and planets also reminds us that there is still so much to explore. As your spacecraft continues to glide through the void, think about all the discoveries that are yet to come. Scientists continue to study these distant worlds, sending spacecraft like Voyager, New Horizons, and Juno into the far reaches of the solar system to gather data. The quiet of these places is slowly being unraveled, layer by layer, as we learn more about the conditions that shape these distant worlds and the forces that continue to influence them. As we think about the quiet in these distant places, we begin to see that it is not just a lack of noise, but a presence that speaks to the very essence of the cosmos. It is in the stillness that we begin to hear the faintest echoes of the universe's deepest mysteries. It is in the quiet that we understand the vast scale of time and space, and how our own world fits into the larger tapestry of the universe. Tonight, as your spacecraft drifts through the darkness, you can rest easy knowing that the quiet of space holds more than just silence. It holds the past, the present, and the future of the solar system. It holds the potential for discovery, for understanding, and for the uncovering of truths that have been hidden for eons. As the stars continue to drift by, think of the quiet places we've visited, the far side of the moon, Europa, Titan, the Kuiper Belt, and the way they've helped us to understand the vast and beautiful universe we inhabit. The silence that once seemed so empty is, in fact, a place full of meaning, a place where the quiet holds the keys to mysteries that are just waiting to be unlocked. And now, as your journey begins to wind down, allow yourself to settle into the calm. The spacecraft continues its quiet path, the hum of its systems a comforting presence as you drift through the stars. You don't need to hold on to any of the details you've learned tonight. The quiet will remain, just as it always has, waiting for you to return whenever you wish to explore it again. The stars outside your window continue to glow softly, their light reaching you after so many years. And as the journey slows, the quiet deepens, and you are free to drift off into the calm of space, wrapped in the silence of the universe. You've followed this story as far as you need to tonight. The quiet will stay with you, and you can let it carry you into peaceful rest, knowing that the stars are still watching over you. If sleep hasn't found you yet, you can simply stay here, floating in the dark, while the stars drift slowly by. Let go of the need to remember everything. In the quiet of space, everything is exactly as it should be. Your spacecraft continues to glide gently through the quiet of space. Outside, the stars sparkle, like distant, steady points of light scattered across the endless void. The hum of the ship's systems is soft and steady, its motion slow and purposeful. There is no rush. In this moment, time seems to stretch and slow, allowing you to sink deeper into the stillness around you. As you settle further into the comfort of the spacecraft, let your thoughts drift back to the quiet places we've already explored. Tonight's journey has taken you through worlds of silence, worlds where sound does not exist in the way we know it, and yet where life, in its own mysterious form, might still be waiting to be discovered. The far side of the Moon, Europa, Titan, and the Kuiper Belt, each of these places holds a unique kind of quiet, one shaped by the forces of time, gravity, and the vast distances between the planets. And as we've traveled farther from Earth, the quiet has deepened, becoming more profound with each passing moment. But there is still so much to understand, so much to learn from these distant corners of our solar system. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of these quiet places is the way they reveal not just the history of the solar system, but the potential future of space exploration. Imagine, if you will, that you are traveling beyond the farthest reaches of our current knowledge, to places where few human eyes have ever seen. In these far-flung corners of space, the quiet is not merely a reminder of what has passed, but also a guide to what may come. As your spacecraft drifts onward, think about the future of human exploration in these quiet places. While we've only just begun to scratch the surface of these faraway worlds, the potential for discovery is vast. Future missions could provide new insights into the origins of the solar system, the formation of moons and planets, and perhaps even the beginnings of life itself. We have already sent spacecraft like Voyager, New Horizons, and Cassini to the outer edges of the solar system, and their data continues to provide us with new perspectives on the mysteries of the universe. But the quiet of these places offers a unique opportunity for further exploration. In the coming decades, there may be new missions to Europa, where we might send a lander to drill through the thick ice and sample the liquid ocean beneath. Scientists are particularly interested in Europa's potential for harboring life. Could microbial life exist in its icy depths, sheltered from the harsh conditions of space? The quiet of Europa, which seems so still from a distance, may, in fact, hide an active world beneath the surface. As technology advances, we may soon have the tools to listen for the faintest signs of life in the quietest parts of the solar system. Similarly, Titan's thick atmosphere and liquid methane lakes may hold the key to understanding the chemistry that could lead to life. Titan, in its quiet stillness, might be a world where life could form in ways that are completely foreign to us. Could the building blocks of life exist in the methane lakes, in the thick nitrogen clouds that shroud the surface? What could we learn from Titan's unique environment, where the quiet comes not from the absence of activity, but from the dense, muffling atmosphere? In the coming years, future missions could bring us closer to understanding Titan's mysteries, perhaps even landing on its surface or studying its atmosphere in unprecedented detail. And what about the far side of the Moon? Its quiet is not simply the absence of sound, but a place of profound isolation. The Moon has long been a part of humanity's story, but the far side holds untapped potential. It's an ideal location for future observatories, shielded from the radio noise of Earth, where scientists could study the universe with unprecedented clarity. The quiet of the Moon's far side may soon become a place of deep scientific discovery, where new telescopes and instruments can peer into the farthest reaches of space. As you float through the quiet of space, think about the many unanswered questions that remain. The quiet places we've explored so far have taught us much, but they also remind us of how much there is still to discover. Our understanding of these distant worlds will continue to evolve as we develop new technologies and new ways to listen to the cosmos. With each new mission, we will uncover more about the quiet worlds that surround us, learning how they were formed, how they have changed, and how they might continue to evolve in the future. And just as the quiet of space holds lessons for us about the history of the solar system, it also holds lessons for us about our place in the universe. The quiet we have experienced tonight is not just the absence of sound, it is a reminder of how small we are in the grand scale of the cosmos. Yet, even in this vastness, we have found a way to connect with the universe, to listen to its quiet whispers, to explore its deepest corners, and to understand the forces that shape it. The quiet places we've visited tonight are far from empty, they are filled with the potential for discovery, for learning, and for understanding our place in the vast expanse of space. As you relax into the gentle motion of the spacecraft, let yourself reflect on all that we've learned from these quiet worlds. You don't need to hold on to the details. Just know that the quiet places of the solar system are waiting to be explored, and that with each new discovery, we come closer to understanding the mysteries of the universe. The spacecraft hums softly, and outside, the stars continue their slow drift across the endless sky. There is nothing left to do but relax, to allow yourself to float in the quiet of space. You're free now to let go of everything, to simply listen to the stars, to the quiet, and to the universe itself, knowing that it will always be there, waiting for you to return whenever you choose. The journey has been long, and now, with the quiet all around you, it's time to let sleep find you. Let the silence of the stars soothe you as you drift deeper into rest, carried on the soft hum of your spacecraft, far beyond the reach of Earth, into the stillness of the universe. Your spacecraft continues its quiet journey through the vast expanse of space. The stars outside your window twinkle softly, their light stretching across light years to reach you. There's no hurry now, no pressing urgency. You are drifting, calmly and effortlessly, through a cosmic landscape where time feels distant, as if it flows at its own pace, far removed from the concerns of everyday life. The silence around you is profound. It's not the stillness of emptiness, but a silence filled with potential, silent, but brimming with hidden knowledge, waiting to be uncovered. It's in this silence that you begin to understand more deeply the quiet places we've explored. Each of these worlds, the far side of the Moon, Europa, Titan, the Kuiper Belt, speaks to something deeper, something that transcends their individual histories. As your spacecraft glides onward, think for a moment about the long-term future of space exploration. What might the quiet places we've discovered reveal about the future of humanity, about our place in the universe, and the role we might play in the unfolding story of space? Right now, we're standing on the edge of a new era. The quiet places we've examined are not just curiosities, they are the frontiers of exploration. They offer us a glimpse into the mysteries of the past, a sense of the vast and uncharted future, and perhaps even a reflection on where we are going as a species. It's easy to think of these worlds as far-off, unreachable places. But the reality is that each mission, each spacecraft, and each new technological advance brings these distant corners of the solar system closer to our understanding. Consider, for example, the distant, icy worlds like Europa. Scientists have long speculated that beneath its frozen crust lies a liquid ocean, one that could harbor life. The quiet of Europa is not simply an absence, but the stillness of a world that could hold secrets about the origins of life itself. As we look toward the future, missions like Europa Clipper, set to launch in the next few years, will provide us with deeper insights into this icy world. This spacecraft will conduct detailed flybys, sending back data that could confirm the presence of the ocean beneath Europa's icy shell. As we gather more information, the quiet of Europa may soon be broken by the discovery of the subtle activity beneath its surface, revealing signs of life, perhaps even microbial life. Beyond Europa, there's Titan, the thick, nitrogen-rich moon of Saturn. Titan has long been an enigma, its quiet a product of its dense atmosphere and cold, distant location. But Titan is more than just an object in the sky, it's a window into a world that may share some of the same chemical building blocks as Earth. With its methane lakes, its thick clouds, and its slow, quiet surface, Titan has captured the imaginations of scientists. Future missions, like Dragonfly, a rotorcraft planned for launch in the near future, will explore Titan's surface, flying across its methane seas and lakes, gathering samples that could reveal the chemical processes occurring there. Perhaps, in Titan's quiet, we will uncover more about the complex chemistry that could one day give rise to life, or at least provide clues about how life might arise in alien environments. The quiet places of our solar system are not just interesting because they're distant or different from Earth. they also remind us of how little we know about the universe, and how much there still is to discover. The study of these quiet worlds challenges our understanding of what is possible. They show us that life, in some form, might exist in places we never expected, in environments so foreign to our own that they almost seem otherworldly. And yet, as strange as these places may seem, they are part of the same universe we live in, connected by the same fundamental forces and processes. The quiet we've encountered in places like Europa, Titan, and the far side of the moon also challenges our perception of what it means to be alive, to exist, and to thrive. On Earth, life has evolved in response to a specific set of conditions: warmth from the sun, liquid water, and atmosphere. But what if life could exist in conditions vastly different from those we know? What if the quiet of these distant worlds hides environments where life thrives, not in the way we understand it, but in a way we are only beginning to comprehend? These worlds invite us to imagine what life could look like elsewhere, not in the familiar, lush, oxygen-rich environments of Earth, but in the silent, frozen oceans of Europa or the methane lakes of Titan. As your spacecraft continues its peaceful journey, let the quiet of space settle into you. There is no need to rush to understand everything, no need to carry the weight of these mysteries with you. Instead, think of the quiet as an invitation, a space where questions can grow without pressure, where we can dream of the possibilities that lie ahead. These quiet worlds, with all their mysteries, are reminders of how far we've come in our exploration of the solar system, and how much further we still have to go. The quiet that surrounds them, so profound and so ancient, holds within it a message that transcends space and time, that we are not just observers of the cosmos, but participants in its unfolding story. As you float in the stillness of the spacecraft, the quiet continues to envelop you. You are free to let go of any need for answers, free to simply be here, in this peaceful moment. The spacecraft hums gently, and outside, the stars drift by in their endless journey. You don't need to remember all the details of tonight's exploration. The quiet will remain, waiting for you to return whenever you wish to explore it again. In this moment, let the silence of the stars, the stillness of the farthest reaches of the solar system, wash over you. Let it carry you toward a peaceful rest, as the spacecraft continues its journey, and the universe, quiet, vast, and full of hidden wonders, continues to unfold. The quiet will always be there, waiting for you. And in it, you'll find not just silence, but a deep, comforting sense of connection to everything that lies beyond our world. Let sleep find you now, as the stars drift by, taking you gently into the stillness of space. Your spacecraft glides smoothly through the vast reaches of space. The stars outside your window are distant and unmoving, like ancient beacons scattered across the endless black. The hum of the ship's systems is steady and comforting, guiding you forward as the journey continues through the silence of the cosmos. Time seems to stretch in the quiet, and for a moment, you forget that there is any rush. Here, in the gentle embrace of space, everything is as it should be. As the spacecraft moves further into the void, your thoughts drift back to the quiet worlds we've explored together, the far side of the moon, Europa, Titan, and the Kuiper Belt. Each of these distant places holds a kind of serenity, a peaceful stillness that is difficult to imagine from Earth, where life is filled with sound, movement, and constant change. Yet, as we have seen, these quiet places are not empty. They are rich with stories, stories of cosmic forces, of ancient collisions, and of worlds that may hold secrets about the origins of life itself. The quiet places of the solar system remind us of something essential, that even in the most remote, still corners of the universe, there is always something happening. The quiet is not the absence of life or activity, it is simply the way the universe whispers to us, inviting us to listen more closely, to see what we might have missed. These quiet places, far from the noise and bustle of Earth, offer us a chance to reflect on the bigger picture, the story of the solar system, of the forces that shaped it, and of how these quiet worlds fit into the larger tapestry of the universe. Tonight, as you settle more deeply into your seat, think of how these silent worlds help us understand not just where we are, but where we've been, and where we might be going. The quiet places are not only relics of the past, they are also windows into the future. In the stillness of Europa's icy surface, the mysteries of life's origins are waiting to be uncovered. On Titan, the thick clouds and methane lakes offer a glimpse into a world where chemical processes might mirror the early stages of life on Earth. And in the far reaches of the Kuiper Belt, beyond the orbit of Neptune, there are icy objects, frozen remnants of the early solar system, that may hold clues about how planets and moons formed billions of years ago. The quiet of these places tells us something important about our own planet, Earth. It reminds us of the delicate balance that makes life possible here, on this small, vibrant world. Our planet's constant activity, the movement of air, the rush of water, the hum of life, stands in stark contrast to the stillness we've witnessed on moons and planets so far from the sun. Yet, the quiet places are not just distant and cold. They are part of a cosmic dance, shaped by the same forces that govern the creation and destruction of worlds, the birth and death of stars. As you float through space, imagine that you are part of that dance, a small observer of the vast, eternal rhythm of the universe. The quiet worlds you've visited are like stepping stones, scattered across the cosmos, each one telling a story of its own. Yet, each story is connected to a greater narrative, the history of our solar system, the evolution of the planets, and the journey of life itself. As the spacecraft moves onward, the quiet around you deepens. There is no need to search for answers now. Everything is unfolding at its own pace. You are free to simply be here, in this moment, floating through the stars. The silence that surrounds you is not emptiness. It is full of meaning, full of possibilities, full of quiet stories that continue to unfold. The quiet we experience in space is the same kind of quiet that we find in the stillness of our own minds, when we let go of the noise of daily life and allow ourselves to simply be present. This is the quiet that connects us to the universe. It is the same quiet that has shaped the distant worlds we've explored tonight. The quiet that exists in places like the far side of the Moon, Europa, and Titan is not a void. It is a space full of potential, full of mysteries that await our discovery. And just as we have come to understand the quiet of these distant worlds, so too can we learn to appreciate the quiet within ourselves, the stillness that allows us to connect with the vastness of space and the mysteries it holds. As the spacecraft continues its journey, let the quietness of space deepen within you. The stars outside remain constant, their light traveling through time to reach you. In the silence of space, there is no need for anything more. You are free to rest, to let go of any thoughts or questions, and simply to float in the calm of the cosmos. The quiet will remain with you. It is always here, just beyond the window, waiting for you to return whenever you wish. As your journey continues, remember that you are part of something much larger than yourself, a part of the cosmic dance that has been unfolding for billions of years. The quiet places are not just faraway destinations, they are reminders of our place in the universe, of the mysteries we are still uncovering, and of the infinite beauty that surrounds us. Let the quiet of the stars take you into rest now, knowing that the answers you seek will come in time. The spacecraft hums softly, and outside, the stars continue their eternal journey. You are free now to let sleep find you, to let the quiet of space carry you gently into peaceful rest. There is no need to hold on to anything. Simply let go, and drift with the stars, in the silence of the universe. Your spacecraft drifts ever so gently through the serene vastness of space. Outside the window, the stars remain steady, silent witnesses to your journey. The faint hum of the ship's systems continues to soothe you, a soft pulse that matches the gentle rhythm of the cosmos. The stillness of space wraps around you like a comforting blanket, and in this moment, you are fully present, suspended in the quiet of the universe. As the ship moves through the dark, think back on everything we've discovered tonight. The far side of the Moon, Europa, Titan, and the far reaches of the Kuiper Belt, each of these places has shown us a different facet of the solar system, a different kind of quiet. Some are silent because of distance, others because of the lack of atmosphere, and still others because of the profound stillness that hides beneath their icy surfaces. These quiet worlds, far from being empty, are filled with potential, with stories that we have only just begun to uncover. The quiet places we've explored remind us that there is so much more to learn, not just about distant moons and planets, but about ourselves and our place in the cosmos. The quiet teaches us humility, reminding us of how small we are in the grand scheme of things, yet how deeply connected we are to the universe. We are all part of the same cosmic story, a story that unfolds in ways we are still trying to understand. The quiet of space is a perfect mirror of our own need for stillness and reflection. Just as these distant worlds are shaped by forces we can barely comprehend, so too are we shaped by the quiet moments in our lives, those moments of rest, of deep thought, of simply being present. Tonight, as we've drifted through space, we've learned that quiet is not emptiness, but a space full of meaning and discovery. It's a place where the answers we seek are waiting to be found, slowly, patiently, in their own time. Now, as your spacecraft moves onward, you can feel the journey winding down. You don't need to hold on to any of the details we've explored. You've learned what you needed to learn tonight, and the quiet can carry you into a peaceful rest, just as the stars drift slowly across the sky. The story of the quiet places we've visited doesn't have an ending, because it continues to unfold, both out there in the cosmos and within you. As you let go of any thoughts or concerns, allow yourself to sink deeper into the quiet. The spacecraft's hum becomes a lullaby, and the stars outside your window seem to dim into the background. You don't need to do anything now except rest. The journey has been long, but peaceful, and the quiet will remain with you as you drift into sleep. You've followed this story as far as you need to tonight. The quiet places of the solar system, with all their mysteries, will still be there when you wake, waiting for you to return whenever you wish to explore them again. But for now, let the silence of space guide you into a deep, restful sleep. There's no need to remember everything. Simply let go, and float, like the stars, in the calm of the universe. If sleep has not already found you, it will soon. The stars, the quiet, and the soft hum of the spacecraft will carry you gently into rest, where time slows and all that matters is the peace of this moment. You can simply be here, surrounded by the stillness of space, drifting through the stars. The quiet is always here, always waiting. Let it carry you, let it soothe you, and let it guide you into the stillness of sleep.